Did you know even top clubs can buy a player just so their rival cannot get him? It's not always about "we need him", sometimes it's about "they cannot have him". Today we're counting down 10 signings where a club stepped in at the last moment, won the player and left their rival stuck with plan B. And wait until the final one, because it's the kind of move that still gets fans arguing years later. At number 10, the latest headline, Antoine Semenyo. According to the latest news, Manchester City are set to land Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth, with multiple reports saying City are now the clear favourites and pushing the move over the line. But a lot of fans and pundits are side-eyeing this for one simple reason: City already have plenty of wide players. Their squad includes natural wingers like Jeremy Doku and Savinho, plus Oscar Bob, and they also have attackers who can play out wide when needed. So the suspicion makes sense. With that many options already, some people think City are not only buying Semenyo because they need him. They may also be buying him because they do not want rivals like Liverpool, Manchester United, and especially Arsenal, who are top of the league right now, getting a fast, powerful starter for the second half of the season. That forces everyone else to pick plan B, and in this season's tight title race, blocking the other contenders can matter, because City does have a history of doing the same. At number 9, Calvin Phillips. Back in 2022, Phillips was one of the most wanted midfielders in England. Reports said Liverpool were seriously interested, and Phillips himself also admitted later that Manchester United showed interest, but he made it clear he would never join them because of his loyalty to Leeds. Phillips ended up not becoming a weekly starter at the Etihad, but City still got something out of the deal. They stopped another big club from adding him, fixing a midfield problem and using him in huge matches. That's why people look at the current Semenyo deal and go, "Yep, we've seen this one before." Next up at number 8, Arda Guler. The early story was that Barcelona were leading the race for his signature. Their sporting director Deco even went to Istanbul to talk, and it felt like Barca were about to finish it. Then Real Madrid suddenly jumped in and turned it into a Clasico tug-of-war. They moved fast and finally beat Barcelona to the deal. And what made it feel like a block is that Madrid were already stacked where Guler likes to play. They already had Rodrigo on the right, Brahim Diaz as his backup, Jude Bellingham in the main number 10 role, and even young players like Nico Paz around the squad. So the move felt like more than just "we need a starter today", it also felt like Madrid thinking he's too talented to let our biggest rival get him. Before we keep going, if you're enjoying this countdown, hit like and subscribe to Goal 90. It really helps the channel and it means you won't miss the next list. Now, the next signing is even more interesting. At number 7, Mykhailo Mudryk. For weeks, Arsenal looked closest to signing him. Mudryk even gave hints that he wanted the Arsenal move. Then, Chelsea stepped in late, agreed a deal with Shakhtar of about €70 million plus add-ons to reach €100 million, and took the player instead. At the time, it felt like a perfect block-your-rival move. But the story turned sour for almost everyone. Arsenal missed out and had to change plans. Chelsea paid a huge price and never got the week-to-week star they expected. And for Mudryk, it got worse. He was provisionally suspended after a positive test for the banned substance meldonium, then charged by the FA, meaning he could face a ban of up to 4 years. Even Shakhtar got dragged into a loud bidding war story instead of just a clean sale. Next one, we're still staying in London. At number 6, Eberechi Eze. The early reports said Tottenham thought they had the deal lined up with Crystal Palace and with Eze, and they were getting ready to take the next step. Then Arsenal came in late, pushed hard, and took the transfer for themselves. Arsenal did not just link to him either. They announced the signing, so it was officially done. Eze is exactly the type of player Spurs wanted. Quick, creative, and brave on the ball, the kind of attacker who can change a match with one touch. But instead of him wearing white, Arsenal made sure he stayed on their side of North London. And this one hits different because Eze is Arsenal grown. He was in their academy as a kid, got released at 13 and had to fight his way back up. So it's not just a block, it's a block and a comeback. And next up, a deal so big it made the whole league stop and watch. At number 5, Declan Rice. This was one of the biggest midfield deals in England. For a while it was not just Arsenal chasing him. Manchester City were in the race too, and that made it feel like a real battle between title teams. Then Arsenal kept pushing, agreed the big fee with West Ham, and finished the signing for about £105 million. Reports at the time said City chose to step away instead of matching the full price. So it felt like Arsenal was saying, "We're not letting City take him and get even stronger." And with those two clubs pushing each other in the title race the last few years, blocking a rival like that can be the title decider. Sliding in at number 4, Romeo Lavia. This one was a real tug of war. Liverpool chased him all summer, and reports said they even agreed to a £60 million fee with Southampton. But Lavia preferred Chelsea, and Chelsea kept pushing until they got him instead. Chelsea completed the transfer for a fee that could reach £58 million, made up of £53 million plus £5 million in add-ons, and he signed a 7-year contract. The plot twist: Chelsea's real target was Moises Caicedo, and Lavia was initially their plan B. But after they secured Caicedo, they still went for Lavia just to block Liverpool. Liverpool were trying to fix their midfield fast, and Lavia was their kind of player. Young, quick and calm under pressure. With this move, Chelsea forced Liverpool to change plans in the middle of a tense window. And here's the tricky part: when you miss out on your top target, you usually end up paying more for the next option. That chain reaction is exactly why these block signings feel so brutal. Now we're into the top 3. And these next moves are the kind of signings that make rivals feel like they got robbed in broad daylight. Number 3, Hugo Ekitike. This one felt like a straight snatch deal. Newcastle had been chasing Ekitike for a long time, and some outlet reported they even made a club record bid for him at one point. But then Liverpool stepped in, moved faster, and signed him themselves in a deal Sky Sports reported at £69 million plus add-ons. All because Newcastle would not sell them Isak. And it got even spicier. Some reported Liverpool also had to hold off a late Manchester United attempt to steal the transfer at the end. Liverpool did not just buy a striker, they also stopped a rival from getting a big upgrade up front, right when everyone was trying to build for the same season. Then it got even worse. In the same window, Newcastle still lost Alexander Isak to Liverpool in a British record £125 million deal. So, the story becomes brutal. Newcastle lost both, their main striker and a potential replacement, and both ended up at Liverpool. At number 2, Marcus Thuram. This was a straight Milan derby battle. In 2023, Thuram was leaving Borussia Mönchengladbach on a free transfer, so both Inter and AC Milan wanted him badly. For a moment, it looked like Milan could get it done, but then Inter stepped in, made their offer stronger, and Thuram chose Inter over Milan. Inter then completed the signing on a 5-year deal. So Inter didn't just add a good striker to their own team, they also stopped their biggest local rival from getting a top free agent, someone who could have boosted Milan's attack right away. And when a player is free, winning the race feels even louder, because it's not about money, it's about who can sell the best plan the fastest. Next up, our top of the list, Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2021, Ronaldo was leaving Juventus, and for a moment it looked like he could join Manchester City. That alone made football fans freeze, because if Ronaldo signs for City, it is not just a transfer, it becomes a derby story that would get replayed forever. Then Manchester United stepped in fast, they made calls, pushed the deal and brought him back to Old Trafford. So in one move, United did 3 things at once. They brought a superstar back, they protected their image, and they stopped their biggest local rival from putting Ronaldo in sky blue. That is why people still talk about it, not because it was perfect every week on the pitch, but because the message was clear. Some players are simply too big to let the other side have, and that's the list. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe, because I'm dropping more football stories just like this. Comment which transfer felt the most ruthless, and tell me what signing I missed. Click the next video on your screen for another football talk. See you there.